So this is the part 3 in continuation, and let us calculate each of the values as we mentioned over here, which we will be expected to calculate in our exams. We will be expected to calculate the revised earnings, revised market value, revised number of shares, price that acquirer should pay, and so on. Let us compute each of these in detail. First thing, revised market value. As discussed, revised market value will be market value of A, which is 100, plus market value of B, which is 30, plus present value of all synergy benefits, which is 12, and this will make it 142. This looks really simple over here because we are just developing our concepts, but this present value of synergies effects figure will take a lot of time in exams. Even certain questions will depend entirely upon this amount's calculation. So the technique is how do you calculate this 12 rupees, not in adding them together. But since this is the first example, we are just developing our concepts. Second is revised number of shares. How will we calculate the revised number of shares? Well, before merger A had 10 million shares, and the proposed scheme of merger said that we will issue further 3.5 million shares of our own company or A, and these shares will vanish. They will not be in existence since A has actually acquired T, and therefore the new number of shares will be 13.5. Again, I will repeat that this purchase consideration 3.5 is given as it is. However, in exam questions you will be required to compute them through some ratio or some other thing given, or even the consideration may not be in the form of shares. It may be in exam questions they have tested us that the purchase consideration is in form of convertible bonds, or it may be a mix of shares, cash and bonds, or maybe cash, or maybe premium is being paid in cash and some shares are issued. So there are a mixture of different conditions depending upon each question. Thirdly, revised market value per share. This is very simple. The market value of the entire new company is 142, and the entire new company will have 13.5 million shares. Therefore, the market value per share will be 10.5. Fourth, revised earnings. Again, the earnings of A before merger plus earnings of B or T before merger plus the earnings impact each year due to synergy will make it 9. After that, revised price to earnings ratio. Revised price to earnings ratio can be calculated in two ways. P ratio is either market price per share divided by earnings per share, or market value of the entire company divided by earnings of the entire company. So the market value of entire company is 142 and the earnings of entire company are 9. Therefore the revised PE ratio is 15.7. So here we end up our basic calculations, but yes, I will like to actually add some more things from the same question. Well, let's say we have to analyze the merged entity, or we have to perform the analysis for the merged entity. What if that I was told that the merged entity's market value is 142, which is in fact what we calculated, and what if I was told that the separate companies had market values of 130, and I was asked to calculate the value creation due to synergy. I will simply say 142 is the market value of the merged entity, which has A in it, which has T in it, which has synergy value creations in it, less the market value of A pre-merger and the market value of T again pre-merger. So I can say that the value created due to synergies is 12. Further, what if I was asked to analyze what gain or loss was suffered by A company's shareholders? What did they gain, what did they lose due to merger, due to acquiring the T company and merging it with your own company? For this, what I have to do is that the calculate the value of these shareholders after merger less value of these same shareholders before merger. If the value of the shareholders after merger is greater than the value of the same shareholders for same shares before merger, then they have actually gained something. Now let us calculate this. Going back to the question, we had 10 million shares in A. Let me wrap it a bit. We had 10 million shares in A and they were worth 100 million before merger. So we know that the before merger value was 100 million. Now what's the value of these shares after merger? This is very interesting. As per our calculation, the market value of the merged company is 142 million. And we also know that the merged entity has how many shares? The merged entity, we calculated the revised number of shares, which is 13.5. So we know that the merged entity has 13.5 million shares. These have two portions. Number one, they consist of 10 million shares which were also in existence before merger, and 3.5 million shares which came into existence right after merger, because I issued these shares to T's shareholders. So basically after merger, each share had a value of 142 divided by 13.5, which makes it, we have also calculated it previously, which makes it 10.5. After merger, each share is valued at 10.5. And what am I analyzing? I am analyzing the gain or loss of A company shareholders, the shareholders who were in existence before and are also existence after the merger. Each of their shares is valued at 10.5 and they still hold 10 million shares. Therefore, after merger, their entire shareholding is valued for 105 million. So this is the value of the 10 million A shares after merger. This is the value before merger, and therefore they have gained 5 million due to mergers. Due to merger, they gained 5 million extra. Likewise, you can analyze the gain or loss to T company's shareholders. I will do it really quickly, and the value of T company shareholders after merger will be 142 divided by 13.5 into 3.5. Now since they own these much shares, less before merger the shares were valued at 30 million, which is given in the question. Therefore they have gained 142 divided by 13.5 is 10.5. 10.5 into 3.5 minus 30, which makes it around 6.75. So this is how much they have gained. Oh, okay. I have been a bit careless in my calculations since I have rounded off this 142 divided by 13.5 as 10.5, and which is in actual 10.5185. If you take this actual values, the gains of both the shareholders will be equal to 12 million. Why should this happen? This is because if you analyze the additional value created due to synergy was 12 million. Due to rounding off, our answer is 5 plus 6.75, which is around 11.75. So if you do not round things off and you calculate the accurate values in your calculators, this will exactly match with each other. There you go. This 3 video lecture contained all basic ideas about mergers and acquisitions. In next video and in classes we will be solving the exam questions, and we will enter into details which were not obviously discussed in this basic first 3 parts video lectures. Thank you all.